Episode 2 of Detective Forst kicks off with a conversation between what seems to be a mother and son, and it looks like they might be the ones pulling the strings behind all the murders. They discuss some sort of trophies that are undeniable proof of their crimes, things that could easily get them thrown in jail. In addition, we learn about a third person who's doing the hands-on dirty work, killing those people and leaving coins on the bodies. The scene switches, and we find Olga and Forst trying hard to free themselves from the ropes, tying them to their chairs. In case you're wondering how they ended up in this bind, let us fill you in. In the last episode, they break into a building that one of the killers has visited but get caught and knocked out by one of the guards. Fortunately, the pair manage to break free before their captor returns. For a brief moment, we also see an old man confined to a wheelchair, sitting inside what looks like a well-built underground bunker. Right in front of him is a table holding half-cut photos of 3 people, probably linked to the murder victims. Olga and Forst catch wind of a hot lead about another unfortunate victim by the river, no doubt killed by the same killer. When Forst goes to scope out the scene, he runs into a fellow cop who tells Forst to focus on his own case instead of poking around. From what we have seen so far, Forst isn't exactly the poster child for following orders, but he's not one to back down. Without any care in the world, Forst marches right into the crime scene. The third victim is a young man whose head and fingers have been cut by surgical precision. Similar to other victims, he also has a coin shoved down his throat. Also, the young man died for weeks before the first victim was killed. Unfortunately, Edward sees Forst on crime scenes, despite multiple warnings, and eventually suspends him for 3 weeks. On top of that, Forst also has to give up his badge and gun. Forst doesn't give up, even after being suspended. We see him sneaking into his boss's office, grabbing all the case files, making paper copies of everything, and then making a quick escape from the police station. Forst swings by to see Olga and shares everything he has swiped from the police station. Olga, in turn, also reveals her findings, and they finally figure out the connection between the victims. Turns out, Marek Kalimniak's dad, Jan Sobchak, and Maya Kakos, the second victim, grandfather, were acquainted. They're also in that photograph Olga and Forst found in the building they busted the other night. Now, Olga and Forst plan to track down the other people in the photo to stop other people from being killed. As we approach the end of the episode, Olga pays a visit to one of Forst's contacts, who tells her about the Sobchak family, especially the head honcho, Jan Sobchak. According to the old man, Jan wasn't exactly a saint when he was alive. Rumor has it he dabbled in all sorts of sins, and yes, that includes murder. It's not surprising, considering he was one of the people posing in that eerie photo with people hanging in the background, ropes around their necks. When Olga asks the old man to go into details, he suggests she should ask the stars for an explanation. The episode review. Episode 2 of Detective Forst has maxed out our excitement meters. We finally see some potential suspects, an old woman, her son, and an eye patch-wearing old man. The motive still remains a mystery, but it appears that the people in the picture have committed something truly egregious, and now someone is seeking revenge by targeting their next of kin.